What's up, YouTube? Today I'm showing you how to make ill.gates' 128 sampler. What that allows you to do is it allows you to keep your creative flow going without having to constantly be loading up, switching out samples. Like this, if you don't like your drum hit, just turn a knob and your next drum hit is there. Say I had a kick and I didn't like that kick so much, instead of having to do, which is the normal conventional way, I would have to load up my next sample, take out the first sample, put the second sample in. Like this, I can just instantaneously audition the next sample and see if I like it without having to load up any new samples. Save you a lot of time and keep your workflow going nice to keep that creative juices coming through. So here I'm going to demonstrate how this works really quickly, and then I'm going to actually show you how to do it. So here you can see I'm going to mess around with my snares and my hi-hats while I'm playing the music live. Sounds pretty good, but let's switch it up a little bit. Let's change those hi-hats. So you see, this is very, very convenient when you want to be able to audition new drum sounds without having to reload them and stop your track. Okay, so now let's open up a new window. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is open a software instrument, press create, and you're going to open up your EXS24 sampler. And what you're going to do is you're going to copy that, you're going to duplicate it for as many drum hits as you're going to want. So for this tutorial, let's only do 3 to keep it simple. So we just made 3 copies. Now let's rename them. Kick, snare, and let's rename this hi-hats. There we go. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to group it together. You want to group it together and create a track stack. So select them all, click create track stack, and create a summing stack. Let's rename that summing stack drum kit. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to load up your EXS folders with the specific samples you want. So for our kick, let's load all of our 48 kick samples. Just a note, you have to have your advanced features turned on in order to do this. Otherwise, it won't let you use this edit button right here. This will be hidden. So turn on your advanced settings button. And here we go. This is our sample window. So let's go get our drum samples. I'm going to take my kick drums, and you want to select 48 of them, of your favorite ones, and just drag it in. Now a little pop-up is going to come up, and it's going to give you a few different options of how EXS is going to add your samples into the sampler. Choose continuous zones. That's the one you want. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to select them all and unclick one shot. What that does is allows you to click one note and then click one sample and then click the next sample, and the samples won't overlap. Had this one shot been on, every single sample would play until the end, even if you let go of the key. So here we go. We just created our first drum sampler, our kick sampler right here. Let's save it as kick. There we go. Let's replace it. Save it as kick. Okay. And here's our kick. So now let's do the same thing with the snare. You can open up EXS, click edit, go to your snare folder and your samples, wherever you have that. Drag them all in. As you can see, I keep on dragging in 48 at a time because that is the maximum that this can handle. Continuous zones, good. Press OK. Select them all. You can use Command A to do that. Turn off one shot mode. Exit it. We're going to save this again. This time we'll save it as snare. This is going to be our snare sampler. Let's replace it. Now let's go to this next one. The hi-hats over here. Once again, open up the sampler for the hi-hats. Drag in your 48 hi-hats into the sample window. Of course, you're clicking edit over there. Let's grab our hi-hats. Drag them in. I'm gonna close these windows, make it a little easier for you to see. Now we press continue with zones. Select them all. Unclick one shot. Once again, we're gonna save this. What this is doing is it's saving specific samplers for each one of these sample banks that we're loading in. So now I'm saving my hi-hat sample bank. So hi-hats replace. The reason it's telling me to replace is because I recorded this tutorial a few times, so I had already done this before. But you guys won't have that option unless you're replacing it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is you're gonna open up your drum kit, and we're gonna open up our smart controls, and you can see that it already gave me a smart control window, and it automatically selects different faders and knobs automatically based on the plugins that I have on this summing folder. So since I have a compressor plugin, it selects a few of these compressor knobs and puts them in over here, and since I have an EQ plugin, it puts in a few EQ knobs and controls over here. So now we're gonna get rid of this and we're gonna create our own. Of course you can leave some of these if you want, but for me I like to have it just the drums. So let's change the layout. I think a really good layout for this is electronic drums. So I'm gonna use 6. Of course if you had more drums you can maybe choose 12, but I'm gonna choose electronic drums 6. Okay, now what you're gonna do is you can delete any one of these. Delete one of them for now, not 2 yet. We're going to delete the second one soon, but for now let's just delete one. Because if you deleted both of them, it automatically takes away the smart controls window. So I delete one, click on one of the unmapped knobs over here, and now over here this is what this is the control window. This is, you could say the script for this knob over here. Whatever I put in this parameter mapping is what this knob will control. So I'm going to go to my kick, I'm going to go to EXS24, then to pitch, and then click transpose. So now I have this controlling the transposing, controlling my transpose in my sampler. And what that transpose is doing is putting my MIDI note that I type in, it's either going to pick it up or bring it down. And since my entire 48 keys, 24 above it and 24 below it, all of those keys are filled with different kick samples, this will be basically going through a bunch of different kick samples as I move the knob up and down. Now I can go ahead and rename it. I'm going to rename it kick. And make sure you press enter after you rename it, otherwise the name doesn't save for some reason. Enter, there we go. Let's go to my next unmapped thing. And we're going to do the same thing, but this time with the snare. So go on our snare, click on EXS24, pitch. We're going to go to transpose. And now this is controlling the transpose for my snare bank. Let's rename this snare. Press enter. Now let's do it with this last one. Hi-hats. Same thing. Go to the EXS. Go to our pitch. Go to our transpose. There we go. Let's rename this again. Hi-hats. Okay, so there we have it. We just created our first drum machine, I guess you can call it. Our first drum sampler. And so here, let me demonstrate that it works. Let's grab create a MIDI region. Let's put anything down on this. You're going to want to put it on C3 because that's going to be your center note. Yeah, so very important. Make sure you put all the notes that you're going to play with this, with whatever, whether you're using the kicks or the snare or the hi-hats. You want to put your notes on C3. And there we go, we have our snare. There we go. Okay, let's test this out. Okay, it's really annoying. 1 second. Okay, I'm not going to make a whole fancy schmancy song over here. So check this out. So as you can see, I chose to leave the EQ knobs over here just because then I can edit. Here, let's bring up the high. Oh, my EQ is off. Just a nice little feature to have, but you can always take it out. Just go like this. No plugin. And there we go, unmapped. I could put more drums there. Sometimes for some reason when I play it, it actually doesn't work. And it just does this. It plays like a simple sine wave. And that's just because for some reason my sample bank got unloaded. All you have to do is go back into your EXS and reload it. So let's get our kicks over here. And there we go, our kicks are back. And there we have it. There's our drum sampling machine. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe to my videos. And God bless. Have a great day. Okay, there you have it. A very cool, efficient way of making music and of auditioning your drum sounds. So first of all, thank you to ill.gates for this awesome idea, and his videos are amazing. You have to check them out. You know, really gets you in the creative flow. Also, just a quick recommendation. I'd recommend that you save this as a template, and you know, maybe you can add, you know, like I had like, you know, a compression drum and add a, you know, a bass track, you know, a bass that I normally like. And then this way, you know, whenever I want to make a song, I just open it up and I already have that drum sampler. And then I also have, you know, my bass track ready to go. And, you know, I just put in a few notes over there and I have my compression, you know, bass kick, whatever it is, whatever you normally start your tracks with. I'd recommend making a template and instituting this inside of your template. So take it easy, guys. Enjoy and God bless.